Howdy, everyone. This is Eric Franklin with the Garrison Public Affairs Office, and this week on the podcast, we have the United Service Organizations, Fort Cavazos, coming in to talk about all the amazing things they do for the Fort Cavazos community. All that and more on this week's episode of the Great Big Podcast.
Well, hey everyone, this is Janice Wright from the Garrison Public Affairs Office, and we are here today with Mr. Benjamin Griffin with the USO at Fort Cavazos. How are you today?
I am doing really well, and I am so excited to be here.
Great. So we're going to talk a little bit about what the USO offers and what we got going on for our soldiers.
All right, for those of you who don't know, the USO is the happy place. It's where the service members and the families can come, relax, enjoy a cup of coffee, maybe a soda, play some video games, play some board games, enjoy our theater. We pride ourselves on being that home away from home, and that's what we offer at the USO here at Fort Cavazos.
Now, I have covered several events, and one of my favorites was the spa day you guys did for spouse appreciation. I really love the creativity. Also, can you talk a little bit about your partnership with HEB?
Yes, so as the USO, we have lots of partners that we come together with to try to find that extra things that we can do for our service members and our families. And one of our partners in this area happens to be HEB. And yeah, the event you talked about was for our Military Spouses Appreciation Day. HEB came to us because we have a lovely center. We have lots of space, lots of opportunities for people to come and use our center for different things. And we turned it into a basic spa environment.
Yeah, I remember I wrote about that. They were really, really happy. Those spouses were thrilled.
Yeah, it was a really great experience. One of my favorite things is they had some culinary folks there that put some really healthy snack options on the plate, and they served them some faux cocktails and things because got to be non-alcoholic here
Absolutely.
At the USO. But it was really good. One of the rooms also had mindfulness. We had a specialist come in, talk about relaxation techniques, ways for folks to kind of come down from their stress levels and just find that happy place within our own happy place, the USO. And then the main draw was actually the candle making. They brought in a special.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was really good. The scents were quite plentiful, but the results were fantastic, and everybody left happy. So.
Now, I have done candle making before, and it is really, really fun to create your own custom scent. So do you guys partner with community organizations and businesses often?
All the time. We live in a partnership world. So just a few nights ago, we had the National Night Out, and the folks over there at the Family Housing Office asked us to come out there to support their event. So yeah, we partner with lots of the different organizations, both here on the installation and as well as off the post.
Very nice.
Janice, one of the big things that they do every day, I think it is, right? You do the power hour lunch. And I got a chance to go over there, and I was so upset that I didn't get the chance to have I think it was the nachos. And I was so upset.
You didn't get to eat?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, but it's for soldiers. But I did get to play bingo, and that was fun.
Well, you're half right there. We have expanded our program for active duty service members and families for the power hour lunch program.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have a different activity focused with everyone. So Mondays we do our hot dogs and hounds. We have a therapy dog specialist come in with two of the biggest giant schnauzers you've ever seen, and we pair that with hot dogs, chili dogs, and chili cheese dogs. Tuesday is our nacho day, which is paired with bingo.
It was so good. They smelled so good.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah,
it always smells good in there when you guys are cooking.
Yeah, and on Wednesday we do our trivia and pizza. We have one of our partners, like we mentioned, Domino's, and we do our trivia event. This month is, of course, going to be Halloween themed, and we are looking forward to that. And Thursdays we do our power hour lunch and mystery event, and it's any sort of game. It's really, really fun. And then Fridays we have more therapy doggies that come in to say hello. So
okay,
you guys also have a really robust game night event, right?
Our family game night is fantastic. We put together some board games, some different types of games for the families to come. Basically, put the cell phone down and interact with each other to play Candyland, Uno, Stratego, you name it, we got it, and we have pizza there for them as well.
Okay. Also, one of the more special events that I've covered was the cooking demo that you guys do.
Yes, the demonstration kitchen. Those events are every fourth Tuesday of the month from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, 1400 to 1500. And we have a guest chef come in from HEB. They're going to cook a meal, show you how that meal is prepared, do taste testings, and there's giveaways. And of course, we host it on our Facebook page live.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, the last time I was there, I believe it was fish and a rice medley and vegetables. And you actually offered the recipe and the ingredients to the soldiers and to those who were there so they could take it home and cook it.
That is correct. We'll do a raffle for the different items for them to cook 6 to maybe 8 people with the recipe card so they can duplicate that amazing experience at home in their own kitchen.
I thought that was really, really cool.
It's a great program. We love it.
So why do you think that the USO is so imperative to the Fort Cavazos community?
Well, there's always a need for service members and families to go and have activities and fun things to do at no cost. That's the big draw for the USO. We pride ourselves on receiving donations and support from different organizations, entities, and people to be able to provide programming and opportunities for our military community. And we try to have a variety of different activities. Game nights focused for the family members specifically. We have the spouses events like Coffee Connections. We do soldier events with our tournaments and our Power Hour lunch program. And then we'll do larger events as well, like our Trunk or Treat event that's going to happen later the month at the Phantom Warrior Stadium. So that's why it's such a big draw, because we do a really good job of finding program opportunities that fits each demographic.
So with the USO, I know there's USOs almost everywhere. I know a lot of people may travel and they may see a sign for the USO in the airport. I know the Dallas airport has one. What's so significant about the one here at Fort Cavazos?
Well, number one, it's the largest USO in the world.
See, I'm glad you started off with that one.
Oh, yeah,
Nice.
we pride ourselves that. I mean, everything's bigger in Texas, right? I'm a Texan myself. And yeah, we have the world's largest USO. And if you've not seen it, I recommend everybody come over, check it out, and just walk around. You'll be amazed, I promise.
Okay, so the last time I was there, you had a young soldier that was volunteering. Is that something that you do? You implement the soldiers and let them come and participate and volunteer?
Well, we don't implement them ourselves. It's as long as the command can allow them to be able to do that. But there are different ribbons that they can get for their volunteer hours to come and volunteer at the USO. And because they have to do that whole Army thing, the normal day-to-day operations, usually the soldiers will volunteer outside of normal hours. Some do have different shifts. We have a lot of service members that volunteer at the USO that might be in the dental field or the medical field. So their hours aren't as 9 to 5 oriented like a lot of the other service members here on the installation. Yeah. But yeah, we have a volunteer training program for them to come in. We incorporate them into the process, and nobody can sell the USO better on what we do than people that actually use it. So yeah, our active duty service member volunteers are fantastic, and they are the best cheerleaders and ambassadors for what it is we do.
And speaking of your staff, a lot of your staff is made up of volunteers, or how does your staff work?
So we have a few staff members at the USO. We have what's called a center operations supervisor.
Okay.
Their job is to make sure they maintain the floor and the flow of different things that happen out there in the center at large. And then I've got other folks that I have other folks that are volunteers that come in, and they can run the programs. They can run the center for making sure people get like a soda, a cup of coffee, or computer use, or show them around the center. We have different people that are their particular job is to just walk folks around and show them what it is we offer.
Okay.
Well, I'm very appreciative of the volunteer soldiers because the young man that was there the last time I was there, he actually fed me, and I was very appreciative of that. I had some pizza, I had cookies. Right, it was great.
You can't beat free food.
No, and hospitality is what we do. I mean, that's what we are about. We are in the hospitality business. Again, making folks feel when they walk in the door that you're not just a soldier, you're not just anybody, you are somebody at the USO.
Absolutely. I love it. So also one of the particular things that I was very fond of was the Super Bowl party that you guys gave. Now my Chiefs, they ran away with that, but that's for another day. But you guys actually brought something here to the soldiers that they weren't able to, maybe go to. You kind of brought the Super Bowl to them. So how important is that?
Oh my gosh, we have a partnership with the NFL, and I don't know why the Super Bowl day is not a national holiday. It needs to be, or at least the Monday after for the hangover effect you get if your team won or lost. I mean, it's a big deal. But what we try to do is just make a fun environment for our service members to come enjoy the game. We'll do trivia during halftime. We'll do giveaways throughout the game. We'll have a really nice spread of like chicken wings and sandwiches because you got to have Super Bowl food to go to the game.
The game food was great.
Right on. And I mean, I'm not a Chiefs fan or an Eagles fan. I'm a Cowboys fan.
You can convert.
Let's not hope. Just remember the Chiefs were the Dallas Texans for a number of years.
Well, they are not.
So
now.
in a weird way, did Patrick Holmes win the Super Bowl for Texas? He might have. I mean,
So-
throw that out there.
Yeah, we're not
Texas
doing
Tech,
it.
Every,
We're not
every
doing
time I
it.
say every time someone says anything about Patrick Mahomes, I like to bring up
We're not doing
he
it.
went to high school in Central Texas,
All right.
so he is a Texan.
I'll
Thank
give
you,
you
sir.
that.
Thank
I'll
you,
give
sir.
you the
Just saying.
6 degrees of separation, but
Right.
that's it.
Right.
That's it.
Just saying, he's a Texan. So I know you mentioned earlier that you were going to have a trunk or treat later on this month I think you said it was going to be on the 27th of October?
That's correct. Yeah, usually we host these events at our center, in our back parking lot. Last year it got rained out, so we brought it in. We expected maybe 450 people. We got over 800 plus.
Whoa.
It was amazing. And actually the
Nice.
soldiers came out and were trick-or-treating too. They were costume up. They had their little bags. We're like, you know what, man? You're going to get some candy too because
There's no
Halloween
age
is for
limit.
everyone. That's right.
There is no age limit on trick-or-treating.
That's right. Well, this year we were approached with one of our partners, HEB,
Okay.
if they could join in on the fun. So we turned our little small event into a big extravaganza. It is going to be at the Phantom Warrior Stadium
Okay.
on the 27th of October
Okay.
from 5 to 9. We're going to have live music. Experiences. I know there's a climbing wall that's going to be there.
Okay.
There's going to be some face painting. We're going to have our actual trunk or treats going to be on the field. So they're not really trunks. They're kind of displays or booths that people are going
Right.
to walk in costume. And we are asking for all the different organizations and the service members units to come out there and support us if they have a booth display they like. There is a contest for the best, scariest, fun booth. So just keep that in mind. We do hand out trophies.
So just so you know, now that you've then put that out there, now you've set the bar a little bit higher for all the units on the installation.
I
just so you
certainly
know.
hope so. And if PAO has one they want to come out, I mean,
Oh man, hey.
love to have you.
It'll be stacks of paper, newspapers.
You know what? That could be scary.
For us, it is.
It's going to be great. Again, 5 to 9,
Okay.
October 27th at the Phantom Warrior Stadium. This is a USO event, so it's definitely open to all active duty service members and their families.
Okay.
And at no cost, so you'll not be charged for anything coming through there. It is going to be a wonderful, exciting time for us to celebrate our Halloween and our folks at HEB with their Operation Appreciation 10-year anniversary
Okay.
on the installation.
Nice.
Okay.
So you mentioned earlier what one of the things that makes this USO stand out is its size. What other things are in particular special about the Fort Cavazos USO?
Well, firstly, we just opened a brand new room in our USO. If you haven't been by in a while, about 2 weeks ago, we took one of our programming rooms, we got rid of all the items in there, reallocated, shifted, painted, and we now have pool tables, ping pong tables, and some TVs set up in a really nice game room, and the soldiers are loving it. So it's absolutely expansive. We have a really large game room where we have PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series X's. We have a movie theater, and we have a very large seating area for folks to come in, sit down, and enjoy that power hour lunch. So it's just a lot of opportunities for space for things. We even have conference rooms that folks can come in and possibly reserve within the confines of things. There's a process in place for that, but we want to be as accommodating as possible for these rooms. So it's a lot of building with a lot of great stuff for everyone.
So, I know the USO for me personal as a soldier, I've used the USO since 1998, 99, somewhere around in there. And I think I've used it on every continent that I've lived on. I said continent. On every continent that I've lived on, from Korea to the United States to Germany to Kuwait to Qatar. So I love everything. Every USO, it just feels like I'm at home, no matter what country or part of the world I'm in. I love it. Could you just tell us just a little bit about why the USO is so cool and why is it like a piece of home?
So you hit the nail on the head. We have something in place called our One USO. The idea is if you go to Germany, Italy, Korea, Qatar, Kuwait, there are programs that you'll be familiar with at all of these centers. Number one is our K9 program, which includes at our particular site the therapy dogs, or our game nights, or our spouses programming like our coffee connections. The idea is to have a consistency. So if you're at Fort Cavazos, you go to Fort Leonard Wood, wherever you go where there's a USO, there will be a familiar program where you're like, you know what, I know about that. I've been a part of that program because word of mouth travels fast. And yes, the idea is for folks to come in, sit in a comfy chair at an airport, grab a blanket, relax, wait for that flight, get a cup of coffee if they're at one of the mobile USOs at a FOB, it's all about that consistency. And that's where we really, I think, hit the nail on the head immensely well, because the USO is that home away from home. And we really pride ourselves on maintaining that environment.
One of the best USOs I've ever been to was in Afghanistan. And it's the Pat Tillman. I don't know if you know who Pat Tillman was.
I do.
Yeah. So it was one that was dedicated to him. And I think it was just, I don't know why this USO just stood out. Like it was just like a shack. Like from the outside, it looks like a shack, just like a little shack. And all these buildings around it, like all these metal containers that people built up. And this USO was just a shack in the middle of all these buildings and T-walls. And everyone's like, nope, it's going to stay exactly like this. And we had a Pat Tillman jersey. I say we because everyone who comes there says this is our USO. But we had a Pat Tillman jersey in there. Like you'd go in there, like every nation comes in there and it's like, oh, we're going to the Pat Tillman USO, and everybody wanted to go in there, and there would be lines to go into this USO because just like it was just home. It was probably one of the, like I say, probably one of the best USOs. It's no longer a USO anymore for obvious reasons, but yeah, it was on Bagram Air Base. It was like right there, like the terminal where you go to leave out of the airfield to leave base or come on the base was right there. And the Pat Tillman USO, I don't even think it was called the Pat Tillman USO, but that's what everyone called it, was the Pat Tillman USO. And like literally we have his jersey was up on the wall, and it was a signed jersey, and it was just like, I'll have to show you pictures when we get done with the podcast, but it was probably one of the coolest USOs, one of the smaller ones. But when I tell you, people just loved going in there, and it's like it was always filled with people from, when I say all over the world, like people who didn't even know, who weren't even U.S. soldiers. They would go in there and they knew the story because they had a story about who Pat Tillman was and about the USO, and it was just one of those things. Just I've always loved the USO for just keeping those memories alive and just being able to walk into a USO and be like, oh, I'm back in the United States. I'm back at home.
So you hit the nail on the head. A lot of people don't know that the USO is open for all militaries. If you are a military member of the German Army, French Army, Dutch Army, whatever, the USO is there for them too. And we have a large population of folks we serve abroad, particularly like you mentioned in Afghanistan. And we are also one of the few organizations that have a congressional charter. So Congress has decided to say the USO can operate on these military installations and send our people out there to these combat zones to be able to bring that comfort of home to those service members when they're there. So that just warms my heart that you mentioned that, sir, because that's what it's about. The USO is that home away from home, and we try our best to go out of our way to make sure folks have a welcoming environment in places that might not be as safe potentially, just so that they can know that folks care. Here, have a cup of coffee. Here's a soda. Here's a football game. Here's a pinball machine. Yeah. Do whatever you need to do because we are here to raise and lift your spirits. That is what it's about.
Yeah.
So for those who are not very familiar with the Fort Cavazos USO, what do you have to say to those listeners?
Well, again, we moved into our building in 2020, a brand new building, formerly known as the Rivers Building here on this installation, and we just have something for everyone. If you've never been to the USO, again, we are open to all active duty service members and their families. Come on in. Our hours are from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and Saturday from 12 to 6 p.m. We have food options. We have comfy chairs, pool tables, ping pong tables, gaming areas, a movie theater. I mean, the USO is that place to come, relax, take a load off, maybe read a book in a corner, play some games, enjoy some time with other service members, family members. Just come on in. We would love to have you.
And there you have it. Thank you so much, Mr. Griffin. You guys come out and check out the USO, get a taste of home, free food, games, activities, everything you could want. Check it out.
All right. Thank you so very much.
Have a great day, y'all.
Bye.
Listen closely.
Hey, specialist, looking sharp in those OCPs.
Get a little closer, Private. I don't bite.
Now what do you hear?
Hey, specialist, looking sharp in those OCPs.
Get a little closer, Private. I don't bite.
Know the difference between casual comments and sexual harassment. Unwanted sexual advances are never tolerated. If you see it or experience it on or off post, it's up to you to take action. This is our Army.
Flash floods in Central Texas happen within only a few hours of rain. Every year, more than 80% of flood fatalities involve vehicles, and about 10 people drown in their vehicles each year in Texas. Vehicles of every size can lose control, float, and roll over in flood conditions. Is taking the risk worth it? Is it worth the risk of leaving loved ones behind? Overconfidence kills. Don't drive through floodwater. It's not worth it.
Your Army Digital Garrison app is a great way to explore your community. With expanded features, including access to an app library, MWR Travel Services, and American Forces Travel, the Digital Garrison provides direct access to installation-specific news, information, and alerts. Find local dining options and events. Browse great shopping deals at Your Exchange, Express, and ShopMyExchange.com, and the Commissary. Search for Digital Garrison in the App Store to connect with your installation and community. Powered by the United States Army and Your Exchange.
Well, this was definitely a great interview with Mr. Ben Griffin, telling us all about the USO and all of the awesome things that they offer.
Yeah, so this is Samantha Harms with Garrison Public Affairs. I, of course, missed out on the interview, which is a real bummer for me because obviously you just said, and I've heard that it was incredible. You guys got to learn all about what the USO does. And,
absolutely.
I know some events that they have coming up, and I know you just went to an event that they had, actually.
Did. I went to the very, very first car show that they had. It was a great turnout, so much so that they do plan on implementing it every year.
Nice.
That is the hope.
Awesome.
Saw some awesome vehicles. One really stood out. It was a rare vehicle. Mr. Gordon, he's a retired captain in the Air Force, and he brought an AC Ace, 1959, very rare. He got it in an auction. It's beautiful.
Nice.
It was quite the showstopper.
That's awesome. I don't know anything about cars.
Neither do I. Just know that it looked really, really nice.
Yeah. So my stepdad, he has a Cobra, which people always talk about.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is kind of what the start of it, and it got converted into the Cobras. So this is kind of the predecessor to that car.
Well,
so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I do. Yes. So everyone always gets excited. People who really care about cars, I'm like, oh yeah, my stepdad, he bought this car online, and they think maybe it might be one of the original Cobras because they made them and then they stopped making them. So people, remade them. It was a whole thing. And so, I don't know. People always get excited about it. I'm like, it drives from place to place. So.
Right. I'm like, it gets me from point A to point B. But these enthusiasts are very knowledgeable about every aspect of their cars. Yes. And so
definitely.
My hat's off to them.
Yeah, me too. Well, we've got lots of things to be knowledgeable about.
We do.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about, so obviously we just had the USO car show, last weekend? So
we did.
We got some stuff coming up in the future. Let's get into it.
So as far as the USO, they're always having great things, and it doesn't stop. Of course, with October, they've got trunk or treating going on.
Right, and that's what you guys just talked about in the interview, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, he did mention that. Great. So just to, give our listeners another, go around with all the details, the USO here at Fort Cavazos is hosting the Trunk or Treat and Fall Carnival from 5 to 9 p.m. on October 27th.
Great.
And it's going to be at the Phantom Warrior Stadium. So some of the things that'll be going on will be face painting, live music, carnival rides, food. You got me with food, of course, and lots more. And it's open to all military ID card holders.
That's awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so, okay, let's move away from the USO. No offense to USO. We love you. But we just did the whole episode on you. So coming up is just a quick reminder for people on the installation that Santa's Workshop at the Great Place is accepting applications until Sunday.
Yes.
So if your application is selected, kids 6 months to 12 years old will receive a book, a stocking stuffer, a family game, and 2 toys. So make sure you get your applications in. I love going to their ribbon cutting ceremony. It is always awesome. So if you want to apply, you can do so online or just to find more information. Their website is forthoodsantasworkshop.com.
Yep, absolutely. So you guys don't forget to get your applications in. Make some kids pretty happy this holiday season.
Yeah, definitely.
So speaking of more October activities, we have the MWR is hosting Oktoberfest.
Ooh, Ooh, yes. This is
Yes.
the first time they're doing this, I think.
Yes. So it will be on October 21st from 5 to 10 p.m.
Nice. And that's going to be at the
Also
Phantom?
at the Phantom Warrior Center.
Yeah, nice.
Of course, all the Oktoberfest style activities, food, drinks, children's activities. It sounds like it's gonna be really fun.
Yeah. I'm excited. I know I will be there. So if you see me, say hello. I'm excited for it.
Now, I have gone to Oktoberfest, so I actually went in Germany.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I wonder.
I'm assuming then you went in September because they always say Oktoberfest, but it doesn't actually happen in October.
You know what? It was quite a few years ago.
Okay.
I really don't remember, but it was some years ago.
Yeah.
But it was my very first time, and it was great.
That's
I'm not a
awesome.
beer
Yeah.
drinker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. So we've got that coming up. And then just a couple other things happening here. Just as a reminder, the 48th Annual Retiree Appreciation Day is going to be October 28th. The opening ceremony is going to take place at 9 a.m. at Carl R. Darnell Army Medical Center. For folks who are, wanting to come into town a little earlier, they are going to have a golf tournament the day before on October 27th. But if not, if you come just for the 28th, you'll have an opportunity to work with some legal folks, do a health fair. It should be a great day. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited too.
And I know that next week we're going to be really diving into that topic. So we've got somebody to kind of promote the event, talk about the importance of it. So I'm excited for that as well.
Yes. All of those good resources and services in one place for the retirees. Yeah. Very
Absolutely.
Convenient for them.
Yes, it is.
So, of course, it would not be October without trick-or-treating.
Yes, of course.
I am an adult and I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
So you guys mark your calendars because post-wide trick-or-treating is from 6 to 8 p.m. on October 31st.
Nice.
Yes. Children under 12 years old are, of course, asked to, cross the streets with an adult and make sure they have, adult supervision. And
Safety
drivers,
first.
please remember to take it slow and be cautious because you're going to see lots of youngsters dressed in their costumes, running about, ringing doorbells and crossing the street to get candy.
I love that. Yes, safety first for everybody involved, whether
Absolutely.
you are walking or driving.
Absolutely. And guys, it's also probably encouraged to wear, some sort of reflective material
yes.
since it's going to be nighttime.
Definitely.
So if you guys,
Always
parents
important.
that are really creative, if you can implement that into the costumes, that would probably be a great safety precaution.
It would be. Yes, definitely. Well, last but not least, we are still in a stage 2 water conservation. So just as a reminder for folks, Belton Lake is still at 58%, so there's still no watering of landscaping between the hours of 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. daily. We're asking people to still report all on-post leaks to the Directorate of Public Works by calling 254-287-2113. And if you see any off-post leaks, just report them to your local city's water department. Yeah. That's it.
Not that I really watered my lawn this season, but I'm kind of feeling, a little bit of relief because the temperatures are dropping.
It is. Yes. We had a cold front that came through.
And it was actually a little bit chilly. I
relevant.
wouldn't call it cold. I would call it
relative.
Comfortably cool.
Yeah. I feel like every time you have some sort of heat wave or cold front, whatever it is, it's always relevant, relative to the place that you are at, because my grandpa, he lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and when it was wintertime, so, winter there is very cold.
Yes.
Very cold. And when it was above 32 degrees, he would say, "Oh, we're having a heat wave come through right now."
If 32
a tropical heat
is
wave.
a heat wave.
Yeah,
Woo.
yeah. Just not freezing anymore.
Yeah. Now, I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri in the Midwest, so I know what a cold winter is, but I don't think I've ever felt quite cold as when I was in Alaska.
Ooh,
Fairbanks, Alaska.
Yes, that's fair.
That was a different type of cold.
Sure it was.
I mean, I was ill prepared, but I got prepared pretty fast.
I think you kind
Oh
of
my
have
gosh,
to.
I will never forget it. It's beautiful, but when winter hits, oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's a good reminder for folks that it is October, so winter is going to be fast approaching. Of course, winter here is a little different than most places, but, still a good time to kind of start thinking about safety plans and that sort of stuff.
Especially coming off the last 2 winter storms that we had.
No kidding.
I remember trying to go to Home Depot and get some things, and they were out. So
you gotta
don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute.
Definitely not.
Yeah, it's better to be prepared.
It is. Yes, it is.
So with that, that's all we have for you guys.
Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a 5-star comment.
Yes.
We love
Please
those.
do.
Send us in any tips you got, anything you want us to talk about. You'll hear all that in the credits though. So
absolutely.
Okay, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
This podcast is a U.S. Army Garrison Fort Cavazos and Fort Cavazos Public Affairs production. Have a question or want to share some of your wisdom with us? Drop us an email at fortcavazos@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fort Cavazos Army. And as always, be sure to leave us a review and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.